Gino, this is a hot one.
As I looked around the room, it seemed like everyone was being detained and or arrested by these police officers, even Pineapple Lisa and Mushroom Marv. Apparently, this was no ordinary party. It was an illegal orgy and sex trafficking ring, and I was right there in the middle of all of it. Potato Keisha had brought me here. How dare she and Tamarin interrupt my life and bring this unnecessary drama my way? I wasn't this type of strawberry. I didn't live my life this way. I pleaded with the police. I told them everything I knew about Potato Keisha. All of us were being cuffed except for Potato Keisha, the Cucumber Man, and Tamarin. They had left before the police came in, and I thought that was a bit strange. That's why I went ahead and told everything I knew about Potato Keisha. I let the police know that I hadn't known her that long, and that I met her at the club, the Wacky Produce Club to be exact, the same club that Tamarin invited me to and never showed up. Then, Potato Keisha invited me to this party. I even told them how Tamarin appeared, and they appeared to have set me up. They took a picture of me while the Cucumber Man was between my stems. I guess it was my lucky night, or the police were feeling sorry for me, but they ended up letting me go. I don't know what happened to everyone else, but I was blessed, and I was just happy and thankful not to go to jail that night. A nice, thoughtful police officer drove me home. The air inside the police cruiser was heavy, a suffocating mix of cheap pine air freshener, stale coffee, and a sharp chemical tang of standard issue vinyl seats. The contrast was absolute dizzying to me. Just moments ago, I was trapped in a neon-lit nightmare of base betrayal and flashing blue lights. Now, here I am sinking into the hard protective shell of a Ford Interceptor. My leaves still trembling violently from adrenaline. But this officer, he was a sturdy, soft-spoken guy whose badge caught the passing streetlights. Shifted the cruiser in the drive. Beneath us, the tires crunched over broken glass debris in the driveway of the compound. Through the window, I watched myself leave behind the chaotic symphony of shouting suspects and snapping handcuffs. The weight of silence was pretty heavy. And as we pulled onto the main road, the awkward, thick silence settled between us. I stared out the window, watching the blurred reflection of my own terrified face against the passing cityscape. I felt completely exposed, dirty, and profoundly naive. I wasn't this type of strawberry. I belonged in a bright, clean grocery display or a sunlit garden, not the backseat of a squad car after a raided underground ring. Suddenly the silence was abruptly shattered by the static heavy squawk of the police radio right on the dashboard. Dispatch, Unit 4 Delta, we have a 1015 in progress. At the warehouse district, transport required. Copy that, dispatch. Under control. Suspect is secure. The cold, mechanical voices of those dispatchers felt like a harsh reminder of how close I had come to being just another number in a police report. Every crackle of the radio made my flesh flinch. My heart hammered wildly against my ribs. This officer had a comforting voice. He cleared his throat, adjusting the rearview mirror to catch my eye. His voice was surprisingly deep, but it carried a gentle, grounding warmth that I desperately needed. "Are you okay, kiddo?" he asked, his tone cutting through my panic. "You're still looking a little green around the stem." I swallowed hard, my throat feeling completely dry. I think so. Thank you, officer. Thank you for believing me. I don't know what that place was. Potato Keisha she told me it was a regular party." He sighed, a heavy sound that seemed to absorb the ambient noise of the cabin. "Look, Strawberryna, in this line of work, you learn to spot the players, and you learn to spot the victims. When we walked in, you looked like you'd seen a ghost. The folks who run those things, they're pros at finding innocent people to use as shields. You did the right thing by telling us everything you knew about Keisha and Cucumber Man. I just feel so stupid, I whispered, a tear threatening to spill over my cheek. She and Tamarin left you there before the guys stormed the place, and they set you up. Yes, and they took pictures of me with him. It's a classic distraction technique, he explained, his eyes scanning the road ahead. They use your innocence to buy themselves time to slip out the back. Don't beat yourself up, Strawberryna. You're safe now, and that's all that matters. On the journey home, his cruiser glided smoothly through the quiet midnight streets. The view outside was a blur of closed storefronts and amber streetlights, a stark, peaceful contrast to the chaotic, crowded madness of Mushroom Marv and Pineapple Lisa being led away in zip ties. I watched the shadows dance across the dashboard, feeling a profound sense of relief finally washing over me, slowly replacing the terror. For a few miles, the only sound was the low hum of the engine and the intermittent muffled updates from dispatch about suspects I never wanted to hear or see about again. The mood in the car shifted from tense vulnerability to a quiet mutual understanding. This officer wasn't just doing his job. He was shielding a piece of fruit that had nearly been crushed by the harsh realities of this world. When the cruiser finally pulled up to my apartment building, the familiar family view felt like a total sanctuary. Here we are, he said, putting the car in park and unlocking the doors. Go on inside, lock your doors, and get some sleep. We'll be in touch if we need a formal statement about Keisha, but for tonight, just breathe. Oh, thank you, officer. You have no idea what this means to me, I said, my voice cracking with genuine emotion. I was finally feeling better, that is, until the unwanted interruption. I practically floated up the stairs to my apartment. Everything was still kind of blurry, but my entire body was aching with absolute exhaustion. The smell of my own house, the sweet, calm, clean, safe, instantly enveloped me. I stripped off those nasty, stinky clothes that smelled like that awful party. I washed my face and finally, gratefully, collapsed into the soft embrace of my bed. I was so thankful and so happy to be safe in my bed and away from Potato Keisha, away from Tamarin and the Cucumber Man, and away from that crazy orgy party. I was away from that nightmare. As my eyes, heavy, lidded, and groggy, began to close, a sharp, jarring vibration shattered the quiet of my bedroom. Bzzz, bzzz. I reached out with a trembling hand and illuminated my phone screen. The caller ID flashed brightly in the dark room, making my stomach instantly drop into a cold, hard knot. Incoming call. Potato Keisha. I stared at the screen in absolute disbelief, shaking my head in utter disgust. How dare she call me? After leaving me to take the fall? After the setup? After the lies and the police raid? What could she possibly want from me now?
Dogino, this is a hot one.